This is amazing. Can you believe it? A piece of natural rubber goes through several processes. The shape has changed dramatically. Cutting its surface. It turned into a rubber band again. Today we will give you a detailed understanding. The whole process of rubber band manufacturing. Rubber band raw materials can be roughly divided into natural rubber and synthetic rubber. Natural rubber is mainly derived from creamy white leaves on oak tree, also known as natural latex. Its advantage is wear resistance, strong toughness, widely used in various manufacturing fields. In the picture, workers are rolling rubber. The purpose of this is to loosen the rubber. Rolling into one. Increase the continuity of rubber products. It can also remove residual air in rubber to achieve the specified thickness. The picture shows the rubber that has been rolled dozens of times. The shape has changed dramatically, and it is very resilient. This is a repetitive process. It takes rounds of rolling too. Now let's move on to the second part. At this point, the finished rubber has been divided into long strips of the same size. Looks very resilient. No need to worry about breakage. After cutting, the rubber becomes scattered again, ready to start extrusion. Under the action of the press, it will be squeezed into a lump of rubber. After this step, the rubber looks very sticky, and every piece of weight is fragrant. So during processing, no need to worry about adding too much additives. Of course, every step is indispensable. Workers also need to weigh the rubber. After reaching the specified size, it is stored on the shelf. Next, let's move on to the third step. Place the dried rubber in the roller press. Roll it again. Careful friends should have discovered something. The rubber volume seems to be smaller at this time. To improve rubber toughness and color, it is also necessary to add a certain proportion of dye, materials and additives. For example, enhancement supplements. This is a method to increase the strength of vulcanized rubber. The main additive for elasticity. A little dye can make rubber color change. Although this is only a blink of an eye. But in fact, it has been rolled dozens of times. Only then did it become the image in the picture. The current rubber looks. It's somewhat similar to synthetic meat. Next, start to press the rubber. Cutting segments. Looks unclear. The old master is holding it with some effort. There is a small detail. I wonder if you have noticed it. That is almost. Everyone wears a mask at all times. Do you know why it is so strict? Protecting? The main reason here. The production of rubber products is harmful to the body. Especially during the vulcanization process, a strong odor is generated. If you work in a factory for decades, there is a probability of suffering from chronic occupational diseases. For example, rhinitis, tracheitis, loss of taste, and a series of other problems. This is also the negative impact of development. There is basically no way to avoid. From the screen, we can see rubber is plasticized and heated. Becomes a tube. At this point the rubber tube looks very soft. The worker just pressed lightly. The rubber condenses together. Then put the rubber tube in a soft state. The surface is evenly covered with white powder. The white powder is mainly used to prevent rubber from sticking. If no powder is added, this will cause the rubber to stick together. After the inspection is completed, it will be transported to the front, but it still hasn't reached the cutting standard. Need to further rotate and stretch on the machine. To put it simply, this is done to increase the strength of the rubber. Increase rubber tensile toughness. So we will find rubber needs to go through a long conveying and extrusion process. Only half of the production is done. But now the rubber inner wall seems to be stuck together. So next we start blowing air inside the rubber. It can separate the rubber parts that are stuck together. After cutting by machine, it will form a circle of small rubber bands. I have to say that the cutting speed is really fast and efficient. After cutting, there will be a cleaning process. Cleaning is to remove surface dust. It is just not shown in this process. Next, start packing boxes of rubber bands. Shipped to all over the world. Rubber band. It was invented by a British factory in 1845. Made of early rubber bands, mostly used to tie up various items. Evolution with the times. Rubber bands are also used in various places. For example, tying a watermelon with a rubber band. How many rubber bands have been tested? Can crush watermelon bundles. This is the end. What do you think of this rubber band?